Welcome back to the Fortnightly report. What a hiatus, and what a way to bring it back. We're with little Eazy-E.
Most definitely, you already
Welcome
know,
to the
man.
show.
Yes, sir.
We're back in full effect. I want to say welcome back to Australia.
Oh, appreciate it, bro. Yeah,
It's been a while.
a minute for us. Yeah, it's been a minute for us. Well, I think it was like 2016 was the last time I seen you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember when we first met?
That was 2000.
2012.
Yes, it was. Yes, with Lazy. Yes, indeed.
So what I remember from that day, the promoter was taking yourself, Lazy, and Sloan around.
Yeah.
And you were going from studio to studio, and they brought you all the way to St. Mary's. And the promoter he was known to be a bit of a talk shit cunt, and he
fatty or something like that. Yeah, I remember him, bro.
Yeah.
Still owe me money to this day, but yeah.
Hey, I always call that guy the rat that never drowned, because he just managed to keep afloat, you know what I mean? But that's hip hop TV for anyone that remembers that era, but I'm sure he might have drowned by now, or OD'd, but anyway, he brought you guys down, and he told you one price, and he told me another price, and Lazy was drunk. I don't know if you were drunk.
Nope, not at all. I remember that night because I had to get Lazy up to get it started.
Yeah.
So what I did is I kicked off the hook, right?
Yeah.
I was on the hook. Yeah.
Oh, before we got to that, I remember Lazy's like, "What? Where's his motherfucking money?" And
Lazy wanted his money.
Yeah,
yes.
and he had a white manager at the time.
That's my boy. He just got off the phone with me.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, the one who called me up in there.
The big guy, right?
Chris, yeah.
And then so I went up to Lazy and I said, Lazy, you've been told one thing, I've been told another thing. This is the first time we spoke face to face. There's been a lot of miscommunication. I said, I grabbed a handful of weed. I said, here, take this weed. If you don't want to do the track, the studio's on me. Feel free to make yourself at home. And then I remember you guys went into the corner and you huddled, and your guy Chris, he goes, give him a minute. And then he came back and Lazy goes, show me the track. And press play, and I already had my verse. And then,
I remember, you bring me that memories, dog.
then you laid the hook. And Lazy was that drunk, he didn't even do his verse that day. And then he said to me, he goes, but we hung out for like a couple of hours, you know what I mean? Like it was, because you got there maybe 1 a.m. or something. And then you went home, all the way back to the city, which is like an hour drive. And Lazy's like, don't worry, we'll come back and drop the verse tomorrow. I'm thinking, I'm never going to see these guys again. You know what I mean? Like, they ain't coming back here. Sure enough, the next day, lunchtime, you guys came back, and Lazy, as soon as he got out, he goes, my first album was only out at the time. He goes, I like your song 9mm. I was like, oh no, thank you. Went in there, laid a fucking burner of a verse.
What? You know it.
Oh, Sloan laid his that night.
That night with me, yeah.
And he killed it too. And then from there, I was on the radio station that night, and I said to Lazy, would you like to come to the radio station? I don't think he was going to come. And first of all, let me say, I grew up listening to Eazy-E and Bone Thugs religiously. So like the fact that I'd even just been in the studio, and I just mentioned it to him in passing, would you like to come to, I think it was Koori Radio at the time, and he rocked up in Redfern. So we ended up in Redfern, and then from there he's like, you want to come to the after party? It was at Back Room at the time, one of John Ibrahim's clubs. And we ended up, I remember we in the club, and we had pizza and bottles and all sorts of shit. I'll probably insert some photos. And then from there, I think we went back to Kent Street, Meriton.
Yeah.
And then there was like I don't know, I remember there was like a spa session.
Yeah, well, we was all in the pool.
Yeah.
Damn.
You remember that shit?
Wow, homie.
Yeah.
Damn, you taking me back, dog.
With all the bitches.
With the Syrian girls. Yes.
Yeah.
The homegirl Dwena and all of that.
Yeah.
What? Yeah. You taking me back, dog.
So like that was, for me, bro, that was like a big memory. And I had my driver, Pat Duggan, he was like young at the time, and like we would drink. I feel like we were drinking for like 2 days.
Yeah.
And that was crazy, man. That was really like a special time for me, bro.
Real talk. Damn, you taking me back, bro. You making me remember all of it.
I had to bring that up.
Yeah.
So and then there was one time I went to, so we kept in touch over the years.
Yeah, we definitely did.
And you came back out of Yella, and then I was in Hollywood one time. I went to, I don't know, I just went for a trip to America just to catch up with some friends and just see what could happen anyway. And I think I was in West Hollywood, and the first night I was there, I messaged you.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you hit me back.
Yeah.
And I was at, I think it was called Rainbow Bar, or Vibe, is it Rainbow Bar? Sounds like a gay club, but it's not. But
It's right off of, I hear not you talking about.
you know what I'm talking about?
From the Underdog
It's like
Studio.
a rock club.
Yeah, from the, yeah.
I think that's what it's called. They're gonna kill me in the comments with that Rainbow Bar. But then you message me and you're like, come to Compton.
Yeah.
It was like midnight, and I wasn't prepared, and I'd been drinking, and I hadn't really been smoking at that point, but I knew I was going to LA, so I better build my tolerance up because there's no point going there and not trying the best bud I can try.
What? You hear me?
So I jumped in the Uber, and the guy goes, "Where you?" I go, "I'm going to Compton." He goes, "Where you from?" "England." And I go, "No, I'm from Australia." He goes, "Why are you going to Compton?" He goes, "Do you know where you're going?" I said, "Yeah, I'm going to see my friend." He goes, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Yeah." He drove me. He told me about some taco spot along the way. He goes, I can't really remember, like, because I didn't.
Taco Mexico?
It's like a service station, and there's like a taco spot. He said this is like a known one. And then what was it Muriel Drive?
Muriel Ave.
Muriel Ave.
Yeah.
And is that your father's childhood home?
Yep. That's mine and my father's.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck. So I remember I pulled up there about 1 a.m.
Yeah.
And then you sent your uncle out.
Uh-huh.
And then, man, like, for me, I'd rather go there than Disneyland. You know what I mean? Like, that's how much it means to me.
That's real, dog.
And I wasn't, like, I was unprepared, and I'm just trying to soak it all in. You know, like, I was so drunk. I'm trying to soak it, but I can't remember it. We went into the garage.
Garage, yeah.
Yeah, is that like where NWA sort of formed?
That's where they started, yeah.
And then you had the TV playing all your dad's film clips.
Yeah.
And then you brought you one of my Forte bongs.
Uh-huh.
I gave you the canister.
Yeah.
And then you filled mine up with gelato. You're like, here's some gelato.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck. And then we start smoking. And I'm like, oh no, I haven't been smoking for a year. But I held in there. You know what I mean? I didn't say it at the time. And you had that Russian girl that was part of the Hollywood tours.
Yep. Oh, wow, you remember? Yeah.
Yeah. And then we were explaining to her how she could be doing these tours and bringing to all the spots where this guy grew up, this guy grew up. And then we hung out for a bit, and then you sent me home with the crazy bitch. She drove. Fuck, I thought I was going to die going home on the highway with, these Russians. They're crazy, you know? I was like, I didn't pretend like I was scared, but I was like, if we crash, we're dead, you know what I mean? And then, but that was something I cherish, bro, and thank you for that memory,
That's
bro.
That's real, brother, that's real, bro, that's real.
We've had some good times.
You taking me back, dog, Forte.
So, like, that area where I was, is that an active area?
Super.
Yeah.
Yeah, super
And
active.
what's the main gangs that are out there?
You was in my hood, which is neighborhood Compton Crib. And then right across the boulevard is Southside Compton Crib.
Okay.
Of course, where all people infamously know Baby Lane, you know what I'm saying, with the whole Tupac situation.
Yeah.
And then right down the street was Kelly Park, Compton Crib. And then Atlantic Drive, Compton Crib. So, you was some of the toughest.
Because they were telling me
in Compton.
I went to get out of the car, and the driver goes, "Don't get out of the car, get out of the car." And when you told me to come to Compton, I was like, "Fuck, I'm from a place called Blacktown. It ain't nothing compared to fucking Compton."
Yeah.
But then I thought, "Fuck, should I go to Compton?
Yeah.
Should I?" And I thought, "Fuck, I'd rather get shot in Compton than get shot in Blacktown." That would have been a story for
Yeah, but the thing about it is, what people think about it is, you not per se gonna get shot at because you don't cause an enemy threat to any hood. Like, so it's like, big, to everybody else, they, you Australian, they looking at it, so it's a big white boy.
You usually get away with that
car.
shit.
You going somewhere. We might think that you part of some narc system.
Yeah, I'm a day or something.
Yeah, so, and then you sit here, go where you going, and once you get into my hood, you feel what I'm saying, and you playing it cool, you straight. That's what most people don't even get. You're not going to causing no friction or nothing like that. Don't think all that you gonna get shot. Now you can run into a situation to where you're being around something, and when something's gonna go down, You feel what I'm saying?
Wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know what I mean? But at that time, like I say, you were straight.
Look, if you didn't tell me to come, I wouldn't have went.
Yeah,
I'm not
straight.
gonna go
You were
drive
straight.
through.
So you coming through at peak hours, you know, ain't too much nothing. And then once you get to this side, and I'm usually thinking like get off the freeway, go up the boulevard, and make your left, you feel what I'm saying? And come straight down to Muriel. You feel what I mean? And you're gonna be all right. You feel what I mean? Don't make no other excessive stops.
I couldn't have said no to that. I had to take that risk. When
Yeah.
Little Eazy invites you to Compton, like I don't want to. There was no good story saying, "Hey, Little Eazy invited me to Compton, but I didn't go." But
You know what I mean?
man, I went, and that was
That's
I
real.
really appreciate that, bro.
That's real, bro.
It meant a lot to me. So traveling, you travel the world. You go everywhere.
Everywhere,
So
bro.
like you ever thought about doing a vlog? You see everyone does all these travel vlogs and shit like that.
I thought about it. You know what I mean? I started need to invest in some of the things that everybody else have, little GoPros and things like that.
That's the
So I
main
can
thing,
say, really, then I can sit here and catch it because these fucking phones be loading up with services. But then I got also taught ways to edit on my phone, which was cool. So either this year I'm just gonna get a GoPro because this is the first tour kickoff. We go to Germany, we go to Switzerland, we go to Hamburg. And then we come back here to Sydney and Melbourne, really, in October. So by that time, on my next route, by that time, I'm gonna have my GoPro and get to start cracking and seeing the stuff that I do. Because we had some balls, even, you know what I'm saying, some fun, even, you know, shit.
Yeah, and then imagine like you meet people all around the world. I'm just like one place, but you go to like how many places and how many characters you come across.
For real. So
and it's a thing now, you know. Like I just started my first vlog, and the same thing is like getting my head around the technology. I just came back from China. I ended up taking my phone and getting a gimbal. I forgot my GoPro on the way out. But yeah, it's just getting your head around the technology and all that shit. But you know, I just thought about it. I thought it'd be very interesting to see your adventures and where you. So like, where are some of the places you've gone? Like the most memorable places you've gone?
Really, I tell you the truth, I ain't gonna lie to you. It's no cap though. You know what I mean? Like not even fronting. It's Australia. You know what I mean? We've been here a lot, and I love it. You feel what I'm saying? My kids ask me all the time, Daddy, all the places you go, where would you go and try to live? And I'm like, man, I'll go live in Australia. You know what I mean? That'd be cool. And then somebody made a joke. It was like, hey, you know, if the world kick off, you know what I'm saying? Like Australia would be the safest place. I said I knew about that a long time ago. You know what I mean? But it's just lovely here. But I've been to Kuala Lumpur. I like Bali. I've been to Bali, but I've been to Bali because I came through and do an Australian tour.
Yeah.
So everything catapulted off of, you know, when I took my first real trip out here. And again, that was my first real trip when I met you.
That was your first world trip?
Yeah, that was my first real trip when I met you. First country that I went outside of Dominican Republic and Bahamas and stuff like that.
Fuck, that sounds interesting to me, Dominican Republic.
Oh, I had a ball there. Oh, that was something stupid. But you know what I mean? You gotta thug it out and be young and go explore off the resort to really experience Dominican Republic. And that's what I did. But I went with, you know what I'm saying, certified individuals at the time that, you know, were part of my I was with Virgin Records, so they're part of my, you know, what I mean, my production. I mean, my team.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? Executive team. So they knew what to do and they knew to take me, and we had a ball, bro. But I've been to Vietnam, bro. I've been to Dubai. I've been to Pakistan. You feel what I'm saying? I've been to some places that I could have never imagined. And I love all of them, but the fondest is the one that I have been to the most, and which is Australia.
Do you have any dangerous experiences in your travels?
I've been to places where my visa wasn't accepted and I wasn't supposed to go. You know what I mean? It was dangerous, and they walking around with choppers and everything.
Yeah.
In Pakistan. But as far as in situations now, when I went to, me and Yella did France one time, and then we did Oslo, Norway.
Yeah.
And when I was on stage, somebody tried to come and like tackle me.
Really?
But I'm not, you know, I slept him. She's like, clinky.
Yeah,
gave
knocked
him
in.
a bow. You know what I mean? It was like, you know, and it was crazy because he was like, the verse was, I go smoke this, that, you know what I'm saying? Then I did that, and I hit him, bow.
Because I'm
you feel what I'm
against
saying? Yeah, and I slept on him. You feel what I'm saying? And he gets slid, and then Yellow was like, "Man, be careful. You know, people could sue you." But I like he grabbed me first, so when he touched me, I had every right.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because he was out. He was out. You feel what I'm saying?
It's a tough one, man. You hear it happen a lot.
Like, you know what I mean? So that was and I was like, wow. Other than that, I've never had no experience of anything like that, and in real danger. You know, we did a UK tour, and I used to bail the streets 2 o'clock in the morning after the show. You feel what I'm saying? Just on a solo. I did that the other night when me and you went to the to the casino. I put it on my Instagram. I was start belling at 5 o'clock in the morning up the street with all my jewelry on. Like, fuck it. If something happened, I'm just gonna have to get down with his ass and go on by my business.
I'm the same. I was just in New Zealand. I ended up winning some money and I ended up running the streets and I ended up bumping into some fans and shit. I'm sure you got similar experiences where you bump and get love and then some doors open and you have an experience.
It's just that's a beautiful thing. It's just love. And, you know, all that tension just go out the window. Next thing you know, you done made a cool connection and had a great time with individuals that you know, connected with.
And what about like crazy fans? Like, what's the craziest shit that just bugged you out?
Oh, crazy stuff. I had some individuals, you know, overly cry. I had an individual...
Overly cry?
Yeah, like, you know...
Too much?
You know, kind of just shake out, pass out.
Yeah.
Didn't think that. I had one fan find me somewhere when I was just coming from getting something to eat, and they had like, you know, pop shirt and tattoo on, you know what I mean? And I'm like to say it was crazy, but I was just like, hey, it's a crazy situation that things happen in that nature. But yeah, you had, you know, any stalker shit, you know, I think probably when I was younger, but you know, nothing I can remember too much.
So like, how old were you when you realized what your dad did for a job, or what his occupation was as an artist? Or
when I went to like concerts at the Forum or like Janet Jackson concerts, and they were chilling or being there, or a guest for some sort, and then watching them on TV, and then when we went out as a family, like I tell people this, like I say, when you as a kid, people know Disneyland, like you say Disneyland.
Yeah.
So Disneyland is Mickey Mouse, so everybody knows Mickey Mouse, and when we was kids back in the early 90s, is like, hey, it was like big, you know what I mean? Like, so, you know, you go to Disneyland, everybody want the pictures. When you realize Mickey Mouse and everybody and Goofy and all them wanted pictures with my daddy.
Mickey Mouse wanted pictures.
Yeah, when they wanted pictures with my daddy.
That's crazy.
You'd be like, wow. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Pops is on another level. You know what I'm saying? He bigger than the Ninja Turtles. You feel what I'm saying? So
I hear he used to take a lot of disadvantaged kids and Make-A-Wish children to
Make-A-Wish,
Disneyland, and he used to
orphanage kids and
a lot of charitable
like
things.
For real.
And not publicize it as well.
Exactly. And you know, I mean, the publicizing of it became when he got invited to the White House. But it was something that Pops just did, you know what I mean? He loved kids, and it was, you know. And
then he just got that invite and just took advantage of it.
Made the publicity of it.
That's crazy. So what do you remember? What sort of artists were you around? Were you in the studios? Any of the studio sessions?
Besides what they had in the garage, and I'm living in the living room and in the house, in the front house. So, you feel what I'm saying? All right, you know, by that time, my mom was up until 87, to the first album really. So seeing them when they came by the house, you feel what I'm saying? Being in the living room. You feel me? But I wasn't necessarily that I can remember, honestly.
Who it was?
I knew everybody was, is being in the studio, in the garage back there.
Okay, yeah.
So I seen them more so when they came in the house to eat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To chill,
in between
to conversate, you know what I mean? And as a kid, like I said, when I went to concerts, Janet Jackson, Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? All the R&B artists that you could think of back at that time. You feel me? And I see, you know what I'm saying, Johnny Gill, you feel what I'm saying, you know, the Bobby, all of that, Bobby Browns, the Belle Biv DeVoe's, individuals that were friends of my father's, you know what I mean? Everybody was popping back then, a person I have possibly seen.
That's
being
crazy.
A kid at a show, you know what I mean, representing my father.
What about Bone? Like when
I seen them when I got about the teenage age.
Yeah, a bit later on.
Yeah, like about 13, 14 years old.
So, with the NWA movie, were you happy with the portrayal of your dad?
Well, it's Hollywood, you know what I mean? It wasn't, you know, he's not here to sit here and vouch for the things, and as a family, there's a lot of things that we were probably consulted on in a later time, or was not utilized. So his outlook of it was Hollywood.
Yeah, because from my perspective, I feel like your dad could just have a movie on himself.
Yeah.
And I don't think they, you know, I think man, without your dad, a lot of this shit wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's nothing bad you can really say about him. And there's a lot of great things that haven't been mentioned about him. And yeah, I was just interested in your opinion on that. So, do you like remember when you were a kid when your dad was going to war with Death Row? Did you actually know what was going on?
Yeah, I remember a time that like they portray in the movie when he went to the studio to meet with Suge.
Yeah,
So when he tried to make the whole little comment about his mother's house, when the bodyguards popped up,
yeah,
I remember that because why, as a kid, every time you seen the bodyguards, you thought my father was here, and they were there without my father, and they were talking about they just wanted to come check and make sure everything was straight.
yeah,
So that was around that time, that significant time in the movie that happened.
yeah. So things were that serious back then?
Not to say that it was like any threat, but they just made sure to check up on us. But other than that, no, we live like royalty in Compton.
Yeah,
Ain't no problem we had.
And your dad's gonna look after you, make sure you're safe, obviously, and then handle whatever he needs to handle. So, what's it like? Things coming full circle, working on projects with Daz and you touring with Corrupt and all these people. Like,
It's a good thing just to see the love. You feel what I'm saying? Because it's just they despite a matter of what was going on. Just like one thing I respect with Snoop is like Snoop say like, hey, we were standing on what we had to do, but it's like, who do you think that they looked up to when they were first coming in?
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Like, who do you think they honestly really would?
100%.
And we honestly gonna say, hey, they were just iconically just like wanted to sit here and represent Dre. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. If not, it was Pops as Q. You feel what I'm saying?
So like, your dad was the gangster
the real
rap superhero.
So you gotta think anybody in any genre and you came up, who you wanted to be like. You feel what I'm saying? And
100%.
Quick keeps it real and say that, which is my family. And I respect Snoop all the way when he keeps it just 100 and real. It's like we only man in this life that it could be real.
Yeah.
And then, you know what I mean? And that's what we stand on. You feel what I'm saying? They city next door to us. You feel what I'm saying? Like, they stay solid individuals. And me and Daz, we really had personal stuff that we didn't went through and ups and downs and on a personal level. So we really like locked in as family.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? And then, just keep it real. The beef was what it was. Was it any situation where it was any violence? Fuck no. It was what these kids are doing now. You feel what I'm saying? The Drakes and the Kendricks and all of that and the other. Shit, I feel this way, you feel this way. It's fuck this side, it's fuck this side. I stand on what I stand on.
100%. Sorry, 1 second.
But
so, look, the thing I like about your dad, you know what? Like, it's well known that he didn't write all his raps, but no one really questions your dad for that. I think what he represented, a businessman, a hustler. They say he was the most street person from NWA, and like I've got a great appreciation for that. Like, I don't know, it's just to come from where he come from and to make what he made.
Yeah.
Like, and yourself, these other rappers that are writing whatever they're writing, 90% of their shit is bullshit, and or exaggerated.
Yeah.
And so your dad was obviously the most authentic street person from NWA?
Most definitely.
Did you ever have an idea how he'd built his empire?
Yeah. Yeah.
And has more stories come to you as you got older from people that he knew that really were?
No, that story comes straight from family. So it's not people that he knew. It's our family knows that story.
Yeah, I'm not trying to get too far into it and stuff. But.
Oh yeah, I mean it's just on the same area at a catapult of what individuals feel like it was. Like he built an empire, and I just give it to you real smooth. He built the empire off of what he hustled to do, and having me, and I was born in '84, so when he had me and his ideas was like, I got to do something legal. And longevity, because of what, I got a kid now.
Yeah.
I got a son. You feel me? So he transitioned his life to sit here and get into the music business, to sit here and create something that he felt like was the best group to come out. And by that happening, they write certain songs that only fit to the criteria of who? The individual who's really putting all the music and money in behind this.
Yeah.
This is you. You hustle. You's from the streets. You from Compton. You did this. You didn't sit here and live the street life, you know what I mean? So it makes sense. And they taught him how to do it. Like, hey, go in here, punch it line for line, and hey, now we just finna sit here and dissect, you know what I mean? your depiction of life and what we want to sit here and tell the world as this group being called Niggas with Attitude.
So so there's other artists like E40 and Too Short that were pressing up their own vinyl and stuff like that. Would your dad before them, or they just coexisted at the same time?
Yeah, you got people to understand when you look at California and the Bay Area, they that's two different zones.
Yeah.
But Too Short was doing what he was doing, and Pops was catapulting to help him.
They toured together.
Get exposed.
So,
Exposed of who his lyrics, what he doing.
Did Too Short support your dad, or
like a motherfucker? Yeah, they was homies.
So,
they was homies.
Yeah. Oh no, I mean like in concerts.
Yeah.
Because they were touring together. Yeah.
Yeah, they was homies. They was partners. You feel what I'm saying? Too Short come from that era.
But NWA was the main act.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
We just had that power out. These motherfuckers. Women are unstable creatures.
Yeah.
Women do not have the same thought process as us as men.
100%.
And when the ones that fall for us, you sit here, put things. But I know, you know the type of man we are. You got to put up with the shit or with the make white because you got a good one that is in a situation that benefits you and what you're liking in. So therefore, it's a balance of what we got to do. We got to put up with some of the bullshit. I can see how she is. She's one of those controlling wives because I probably got the change and the cheese, but you're going to do this and you're going to respect me and we do what I want and don't do this. Or she's going to sit here, whoop. Trust me, I'd have known them type of ones.
Oh, bro, fuck.
If I didn't have kids, I'd be dealing with all kind of ones like that.
Logic versus emotion. So, what sort of music do you listen to?
Bro, I really just sit back and I listen to the old school music. I tour a lot, so you catch yourself listening to that because I'm with Bone, I'm with
when you say old school, do you mean
like
old school rap?
Yeah, old school rap. I'm talking about my pop's era, the era that I grew up in.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? I would sit here and do that because you got all this internet now, so you got everybody that's you not say refurbishing or rebranding their own music. So I go back and listen to like some old DMX, you feel what I'm saying, old Bone.
Bro, I do the exact same shit.
I do all of that. When you have this YouTube, you could just sit back and do it. And then when I do it because I introduce my kids to what I listen to and the stuff that they listen to. Be like, you hear that beat? You know where this beat came from? Let me go back and play this to you.
Yeah.
And then if it's not that, it's oldies, you feel what I'm saying? Like oldies that my mom kind of adapted in my life, and my grandmother and my uncle, rest in peace. And when we listen to that, with family, that's what I'm just listening to. So when I'm riding and I'm by myself, I'm leaving the studio, or I'm leaving a show, and I'm getting on that road that I told you about, long driving road, I pop in some old school music, sit back, smoke me a joint, be like, reminiscing on, my grandma was alive or my uncle was alive, and that's what Eric would do. It don't have to be this new age shit. This internet let you go back and grab your real shit.
I read some shit, they say like whatever you listen to between like 12 to 14 is sort of what sticks with you. And like, to be honest, bro, exactly what you just said, like I stopped listening to music for a while because I started burning out, and some of it's cool but not much of it, and I just got over it. And then the other day, just some old school shit came on. I was listening to DMX, I was listening to Biggie.
What?
And it sparked it again. I was like, it made me realize what I love.
Yeah.
And like, it really sparked me to get back in the studio. So I got some shit coming together, but it's like, I think music's a very important thing. And man, there'll never be another one like DMX, and just the way he makes you feel. And just, where you were at the time. And we're very close in age, so I think we've got I feel that statement a lot.
Real talk.
What's your favorite song of your dad's?
It's a hard one. Somebody asked me that the other day. But and then somebody asked me to sum it up in a more simpler question. Be like, okay, well, what's the one you enjoy performing? That song is that. So it'd be We Want Easy. You know what I mean? And it'd be like, so somebody ask me why. So, to give you why. It's just like, when you think back and you say the things that earlier in the interview, when you're like, hey, it didn't really trip off him not writing his own music. But when you listen to We Want Easy, you couldn't tell yourself that wasn't him.
No.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, he's like a lyrical modern creation.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they did. They created somebody that was flowing shit that had the whole world like, okay, they told us he didn't, but if they didn't tell you that, you'd
never know.
You wouldn't know that.
And it was the delivery.
Yeah,
the persona.
All the way. The delivery was great, which, we got to give credit to Dre as well, because he did do that. And being a great producer, a great individual. Now, that's one thing, and not to take credit, but when they say, hey, we want to be like Dre, You know what I mean? That's because you want to be the best producer, the best individual that could pit it, the perfectionist. You know what I mean? But when people said they wanted to be like somebody, you got to like think one of the most inner city kids growing up that was hardcore as an aspect of Snoop and the Dog Pound. When you started music, you thought about it, or the reasons of you want to spark it and go that way is because why? We seen this gangster do it, and that's what we are. And if we could do it, we can do it.
And I
You
don't
know what I'm saying? Like he like that was our inspiration, like a real street nigga. So they wanted to be like Pop. But Dre was most real producers want to be like Dre because he did create that. And in the lyrics, it goes a lyrical modern creation. Eazy-E's on the set, hyped up with the bass and a little bit of what you love. From a brother who's smooth like a criminal. That's him.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when people ask me, that's my favorite. Because why?
Yeah.
Which one's your favorite to perform? And why? Because why? That he and then on the video, he jumped out the screen on the motherfuckers. Like, shit, this is what it is. Like, out the jail cell, nigga. You like, I came from the hood, I came from the bottom, and you made this creation, nigga. That's gonna come off into your motherfucking, system, your speakers, and boom. So that was the shit.
And what's the favorite song that you've actually made? Your favorite song?
Wow, my favorite song that I actually made. I mean, I guess it'll be like, the remake I made of Little Easier Said Than Done, and the song that I made called This Ain't a Game that I did with Bone Thugs and Harmony, because it was a bucket list of something to do in my life, you know what I mean? So those, spark as the favorite songs that I've done.
And I just want to say, to top it off, like, any businesses, any side things you're working on?
Oh man, yeah, I keep business going. I'm, people in Australia might not know, but America know that I got a weed brand, Little E Exotic. So you know what I mean. I've been doing that. Was Richard Ruthless weed from my Richard Ruthless, company, and we had Richard Ruthless cannabis, and now went off into a new brand, which is Little E Exotic. So I do that because we're just legal in America, in all aspects. So I have a micro license out there that I do. I'm doing a pen line as well in Oregon, off of Little E Exotics, and in different states that legalize it, I'm cross branding my Little E Exotics brand there as well. So I keep that going. Just working on some stuff with artificial AI, you feel me? With a company that one of my partners, Ace in Vegas, that's pretty big, to where, you know what I mean? It's just might bring to life a lot of the deceased hip hop individuals to sit here and do different things that we can sit here elevated to. You feel what I mean? That's where the world is going to. So you got to jump in.
It's crazy where it's going.
It really is. And then it's beautiful things with a lot of creations and the technology that we have, that what we can do. You feel what I'm saying? And I keep just a lot of different things going on, bro. You know what I mean? I got, studio, keep music going. You feel what I mean? I'm on the road constantly. You feel what I mean? Speaking on what you said, and it's funny you said that. I'm gonna drop that on everybody. But you said a movie just on my father. So that's what I'm doing and working on right now.
That'd be
with the benefits that I sit here and have going with all these different businesses, is taking myself and my own to put into a movie just about him, starting from him. He was young. That's just his story. Yes, it involves NWA because of course he was the creator of it, but the moral of the story is about Eric Wright.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? And just give you a thorough description of what it was from his
very interesting.
His mom, from his brothers, from his best friends and family, not individuals who know him, that work with him in business, who have the yin and the yang of what they want to say, but these are individuals that are, his loved ones.
So I'm just curious, what age did he enter the music business?
Pops was what? So you got to think 86. Pops was 22.
22, yeah. So, and there's a whole story leading up to 22, and then
there's a whole story leading on to 22 and beyond to the time of his passing.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'd like to say,
the truth behind of how his family feel and what was going on behind the scenes during his passing as well.
Sorry to cut you off, but I'd like to say I appreciate you taking the time to sit down with me.
For sure.
We're bringing back this segment. It's been 4 years.
Yeah.
I just took a break, you know what I mean? A fortnightly report, and this is a little Eazy-E. And look forward, and we've got a track coming soon, so
most definitely
you'll see that.
Most definitely.
All right, thank you, and enjoy your evening.